Good evening, everyone. How are you? We're back. We're back after last night's very interesting Olympics stream where YouTube yelled at us and told us we were very naughty and that I'm not allowed to stream anymore Olympics anymore. They sent me on a training course. I had to do a training course in third party live streams and why it's a very naughty activity that you shouldn't do on YouTube. So I had to spend my morning doing that today. That was very fun. You went swimming. Well, I'm glad you got some exercise in. You just started a residential cleaning business. Okay. Good luck. I hope it goes well. I hope you succeed and get all the business. Hey, retired Erin. Good to see you. I'll say hello to everyone. Laura, good to see you. Mama Mia. Marlene is here. Diane as well. Angela. Danny's here. Hey, Danny. DJ. Kathy Lynch made it. Snapcrackle Pop. Reby was here. Andrew as well. Mama Mia also made it. So did Rachel. Who else made it? Hey, Breakaway. Good to see you. I don't know who else made it, but glad you're here. All right, I want to show you something out of Australia. Australia. I'm going to talk about our friend Erin Patterson. I mean, why would I not want to talk about her? According to the papers, bosses at the prison where she's currently, visiting on a trial basis, they're saying here, wild mushrooms were caught growing within the prison walls of of the unit. They were, you know, a bit stirred up by the discovery. They say it's quite the coincidence when the women's correctional facility is hosting alleged mushroom killer Erin Patterson while she awaits her trial for murder next year. With a trial date yet to be set, she's defending the case. Last month, prison officials issued a warning note to staff about mushrooms that were found growing in the grounds, and it says, and I quote, "Good morning. As most of you know and have seen it is mushroom season, and they are growing in various places around the compound. I have notified two of our trusted horticultural billets to pick them as required. Billet is prison speak for a trusted inmate given a specific job, in this case, gardening duties. If you see them out and about fossicking around the grounds, this is what they are doing. Thank you for your understanding." The billets were tasked with collecting the mushrooms and disposing of them safely, or smuggling them to Erin Patterson's cell, so she can have her own sequel. It says here, Patterson became something of a global true crime celebrity after police accused her of 3 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder. She stands accused of using poisonous death cap mushrooms, which can cause severe gastroenteritis and death, and she put them in a beef Wellington. She has pleaded not guilty to all charges and will face a Supreme Court trial later this year. It's only fair to point out that Patterson is reportedly in a secure self-contained protection unit within the prison at this time. Maybe she doesn't have access to the mushrooms. They caught it just in time. No one will have any beef Wellingtons inside the prison. Just don't put her on any cooking duties. No cooking duties, okay? Marlene said, "I just had mushrooms." Hey Kim, how are you? Yeah, well, it's raining. It's raining today down here too, so mushrooms are everywhere this time of year. Hey Beth B, how are you? Good to see you. Glad you could make it. Hope you're doing well. Snapcrackle Pop said, "I went shopping. Does that count as exercise? If you did over 10,000 steps while shopping, yes, that counts as exercise. Okay, there you go. So there you go. The prison are keeping an eye out for mushrooms growing wild within the prison grounds, just in case she gets a hold of them. There's the greatest photo of her ever. This photo is a screenshot of when she pretended to cry about her death of the loved ones. She was like, "Oh, Gail, She was a lovely person. I loved her so much. Wipes away no tear. She was amazing. She was always so kind to me. Wait, wipes away another tear that's not there. Yeah, that was a very strange video if you remember that. It was the first time I ever saw Erin Patterson. I went, this was not an accident. There's something going on here. Because I don't know who just randomly starts breaking out into fake tears at the sight of media cameras. And then she got really aggressive. It was like just after she did this little speech about how much she misses everyone and we hope that, the person in ICU survives. She got to a door and then she growled at the media. She's like, "You guys aren't helping. You guys aren't helping. Get out of me. Get out of me driveway. We need ping on a soap." Yeah. She was interesting. Actually, can we find that interview? Because I just think it's the most bizarre thing I've ever witnessed in true crime. Let me see if I can find it. Da, da, da. Here we go from news.com.au.
It's a tragedy what's happened.
Can you tell us about the meal that you cooked?
I'm so devastated by what's happened, by the loss of Don. Don is still in hospital, the loss of Ian and Heather and Gail, who were some of the best people that I've ever met. Gail was like...
Gail would tell you to stop using that weird cry voice because you ain't crying. And she'd be like, talk normally. That's what she'd say to you if she was still here.
Take your time.
Gail was the mum that I didn't have because my mum passed away 4 years ago. And
what's with the touching of the nose and the eyes? I don't see anything there to wipe. Are you wiping mysterious snot from your nose that's not there? And you're like, quick, they're focusing on my nose too much. Let me touch my eye now again.
Gail's never been anything but good and kind to me. And Ian and Heather were some of the best people I've ever met. They never did anything wrong to me, and I'm so devastated about what's happened.
Can you tell us a bit?
Quick, they're noticing that I'm not actually crying. Let's look at my hand so I can pretend like there's tears on my hand.
Lost to the community and to the families and to my own children who've lost their grandmother.
Can you tell us a bit more about the lunch?
What I can tell you is that I just can't fathom what has happened. I just can't fathom what has happened. That Ian and Heather have lost their lives, and Gail has lost her life, and Donna's still in hospital, and I pray that he pulls through because my children love him.
And you must be pretty shaken up by this as well.
I'm devastated. I love them.
So devastated that she can't fathom it, apparently. You know how you could fathom it? You could just tell the truth. And where did you actually get the mushrooms? It's a very simple question. If you really are innocent, all you had to say is, I got the mushrooms from XYZ and this is what I did. Instead, you tried to blame it on Asian grocers. You tried to blame it on Woolworths and mushroom suppliers that supplied to them. You tried to blame it on a billion different things, and none of them actually made sense. And you also need to explain how come only those people got sick. You say in your statement that you ate the same beef Wellington, but you never got sick, although you did present to a hospital. But hospital staff thought that you were just not ill and sent you home. Hospital ain't going to send you home if they thought you ate poisonous death cap mushrooms. They'd keep you there for days and monitor you and check your kidneys and liver, and they'll basically like, you ain't sick, go home. And you have to also explain that you also gave the leftovers to your children. How come they didn't get sick either? So the only people that are in your immediate family, you and your children, are the only ones who never got sick. But the other people there all mostly died, except for one person who survived with a liver transplant. But not you or your children. And you're sitting here fake crying on this little interview, and then you snap at the media because you're like, they're in my personal space.
And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry that they have lost their lives.
How are you
But I
kids?
just can't believe it. Just can't believe it.
Can you tell us where the mushrooms came from?
Is she laughing or crying? It almost sounds like a maniacal laugh. That's what it sounds like as she's walking away.
Were they picked from the property
I
area?
just ask you to leave me alone now, please.
Police say you're a suspect. Do you have anything to say about
Yes,
that?
I say I didn't do anything. I love them. And I'm devastated that they're gone. And I hope with every fibre of my being that Don pulls through. That's
Where
what I
did the
have to
mushrooms
say.
come from? Were they picked by you, or where did they come from, Erin? Can you tell us? What meal did you cook them? Did you eat the same meal, Erin?
There you go. So if you've never seen that interview, now you have. It drives me crazy, that interview, because you can tell she's almost like not taking it seriously, never replies to any of the actual questions that mean something. An innocent person wouldn't be this avoidant. They would be just be like, oh yeah, we just had a dinner. I have no idea what's going on. I just cooked a normal meal. I bought all this stuff from X, Y, and Z. Or I foraged them myself. This is a hobby that me and my family have done for generations. And wow, I can't believe if maybe something went wrong. But instead, she's all like avoiding questions. She only talks about the people that are in hospital, doesn't explain anything, and she's never explained anything. She's released a statement not too much longer after this. She released a statement that she tried to make it look like it was a police statement, but it wasn't. It came from her lawyers that she basically signed it. Police said that wasn't good enough. You have to come in here and have a recorded interview. And yeah, so she's tried to worm her way out of it a couple of times. Eventually, a couple months later, police raid her property and end up charging her with those 5 counts of attempted murder, 3 counts of murder. And we're going to go to trial later this year or early next year. And we're going to bring it all to you on this channel. I can't wait to go. I know that sounds awful considering a bunch of people died, but I really want to see this through to the end. And if they can prove it in court that she did this maliciously, then we'll find out during trial, I guess. Let me just try and find something. I want to find that statement. Let me just have a look. Is this a statement? Here. So it says here, in a written statement sent to Victoria Police on Friday and obtained exclusively by the ABC, Gippsland woman Erin Patterson has given her first detailed account of what transpired before and after the fatal lunch. She says here in the statement, I am now wanting to clear up the record because I have become extremely stressed and overwhelmed by the deaths of my loved ones. I'm hoping this statement might help in some way. I believe if people understood the background more, that they would not be so quick to judge or rush to judgment. I am now devastated to think that these mushrooms may have contributed to the illness suffered by my loved ones. I really want to repeat that I had absolutely no reason to hurt these people whom I loved. It says here, in the statement, Ms. Patterson said advice she received immediately after the deaths was to give a no comment interview to police, which she said she now regretted. I now very much regret not answering some questions following the advice given the nightmare this process has become. She said she found the police interview terrifying and anxiety provoking. She said on the day of the lunch, she prepared a meal of beef Wellington for herself and 4 elderly guests. Contrary to initial reports, who said Miss Patterson's children were present but did not eat the meal, Miss Patterson said the children had actually gone to the movies prior to the lunch. According to her statement, Miss Patterson served the meal and allowed the guests to choose their own plates. She then took the last plate and ate a serve of beef Wellington herself. This statement here has been proven to be 1000% false. 1000%. They had a mycologist on one of the news programs. She said that it doesn't work this way. There's no way, if all these other people got sick and the mushrooms were within the meal, that there's no way she could have eaten a portion of it, even if she scraped it off, even if she rinsed it under water. Doesn't matter what she did to it. The poison would have already leached out of the mushrooms and contaminated the entire beef Wellington. So she would have got the same dosage as everyone else who ate the meal. So she would have been deathly ill in hospital had she eaten the same beef Wellington that the other people had. This is where a lot of people come up with a theory that she actually cooked 2 different beef Wellingtons. One contained the poisonous mushrooms and one did not. This is also where a lot of people think possibly her children ate the safe one, so the same one that she had that did not contain anything poisonous, and that the only people who got the poisonous one were the people who died or survived but with a liver transplant. Because yeah, there's just no way. Otherwise, how did she survive out of everyone else? It says here, Patterson's children ate the leftovers from the lunch the following night. No way. She said she scraped off the mushrooms because the children do not like mushrooms. Again, that scientist said that's not even a thing, because again, it would have leached into the entire meal, and that there's no possible way to remove the poison from the beef Wellington after it had been prepared and the mushrooms cooked within it. Ms. Patterson said that it had not been previously reported that she also was hospitalized. No, she wasn't. After the lunch with bad stomach pains and diarrhea, and was put on a saline drip and given a liver protection drug. This might be true that she went to the hospital, but the hospital kicked her out within under 24 hours. So there's no way she copped the same dosage of toxin that everyone else did, because she would have been on her absolute deathbed, not like had a small case of food poisoning. It's just no. She said she was transported by ambulance from the Leongatha Hospital to the Monash Medical Centre in Melbourne on July 31st. The Gippsland Southern Health Service confirmed a 5th person who presented at Leongatha Hospital on July 30 with suspected food poisoning later returned and was sent to Monash. Somehow she just walked away and went home and was fine, yet everyone else almost died. Yeah, I'm sure that makes total sense. She said she preserved what was left of the lunch and gave it to the hospital toxicologist for examination. She said she told investigators from the department where she bought the mushrooms, and although she was unable to identify the specific shop in Melbourne where she bought the dried fungi, Miss Patterson said officials from the department later sent her photographs of packs of mushrooms with handwritten labels similar to those she described to them. Yeah, okay, that's why they charged you with 5 counts of attempted murder and 3 counts of murder. Sure. She's lying. Yes. Yeah, I think Ian's testimony to this entire thing is going to be very interesting. Same with the ex-husband who was invited to that lunch but did not attend and pulled out at the last minute. And part of her charges actually stem from her poisoning him previously in the couple of years prior to that lunch. So yeah. Laura Thomas says, can't wait to hear I can't wait to hear what Ian has to say and her ex-husband. She picked them. Well, I don't know. She said she bought them from a shop. Dried fungi. Whatever that means. although she was unable to identify the specific shop in Melbourne where she bought the dried fungi. So there's a shop in Melbourne that apparently sells death cap mushrooms to the public, and that no one else got ill. No one in the last 12 months, not a single person other than your family, no one else got ill from death cap mushrooms being sold within Melbourne. No other person died. No other person presented to hospital. Nothing. There's been no other cases at all. So you would think if a shop was selling, even by mistake, a mushroom that was poisonous to the public, there would have been close or around the same time in the weeks leading up to or after more cases spotted around Melbourne. But there haven't been. There's been no other cases of anyone presenting to hospital with poison mushroom kind of symptoms at all. Just whack Erin. I don't know if her 2 kids will have to testify. Both her children are underage, so I'm not sure how that works, but I would guess no. I'm guessing no, because they are underage. They may have given a statement to police. They may have even given a recorded statement that may be used in the trial, but I doubt they'd have to testify directly against their own mother. Although, hey, stranger things have happened. Yeah, not to the public, just for Erin. They never met this lady before. She can't even remember the store, but they gave her some very special ones that they keep out the back only for people named Erin, apparently. Yeah, fungi. Snapcrackle Bob says more deaths if it was a shop. Exactly. There would have been either preceding or after more people who bought the same product and ended up very ill in hospital. Even if they didn't die, the police would be able to tag that and be like, hey, there's other people that got sick from a very similar thing. Hey, that shop sold it. She said she was in the same area. They'd be able to piece it together that this may be an accident within the supply chain. But there's been nothing like that. And they would never have charged her with murder had that been a real fact of the case. They're saying here, in the statement, Miss Patterson admitted she'd lied to investigators when she told them she had dumped the food dehydrator at the tip a long time ago. Miss Patterson said she was at the hospital with her children discussing the food dehydrator when her husband, the son of the dead couple, asked, "Is that what you used to poison them?" Worried that she might lose custody of the couple's children, Miss Patterson said she then panicked and dumped the food dehydrator at the tip. That seems 100% not logical, but sure, we'll play along. Former husband was supposed to be at the mushroom lunch. Yep, her ex-husband Simon was supposed to be at that lunch, and he said he reluctantly agreed to go, but ended up not going at the last minute. He reportedly spent a fortnight in hospital May the year prior with a severe stomach illness unrelated to the current incident. That's where some of the charges of attempted murder apply. In her statement, Miss Patterson said she reluctantly agreed to nurse Simon back to health for 3 weeks after he was discharged from hospital before telling him that she did not want to reconcile with him. He didn't want to go to your lunch. I think he's scared of you. I don't think he ever wanted to get back with you. Not at all. I think you did this probably as a way of retribution for not loving you anymore, for him not wanting you anymore. And this was a way for you to get back at him and his family because you felt rejected by him. That's Ping's opinion. That's what I think. Miss Patterson said her estranged husband intended joining the fatal lunch, but told her the prior to the day that he would not be attending. She paid tribute to her parents-in-law, saying she had been close to them for a long time and had maintained a positive relationship even after her marriage breakdown. She said, "I had been close with Simon's parents for a long period of time, Our relationship had continued in a fairly amicable way after I finished the relationship with their son, Simon. Our relationship was affected to some degree by seeing them less after my marriage breakdown with Simon. However, I have never felt differently towards his parents. I had a deep love and respect for Simon's parents and had encouraged my children to spend time with their grandparents as I believed they were exceptional role models. A representative for Simon declined to comment on these allegations. Police are continuing their investigation into the deaths, and Ms. Patterson said she was willing to assist police, potentially to the extent of being re interviewed. In a statement, Victoria Police said there was no update on the investigation, but a few weeks after this, it was about 2 months after this article was written, she was arrested and charged and taken into custody on 3 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder, and is currently going through the justice system in Victoria. So there's your little catch up on the Erin Patterson case. So it'll be very interesting. Who is hot? I don't know if she's hot, buddy. Marlene Clausen says, remember the woman at the spa retreat where mushrooms involved in her death? Yes, but that was a different situation, and I even believe it was different mushrooms. That lady took magic mushrooms and died of a heart attack after ingesting magic mushrooms, basically. Poor lady actually suffered a heart attack while having a trip. I don't know if there was ever an update. Let me have a look. I'm pretty sure that it was concluded that she died via misadventure. I'm just trying to see if there was an update. They're saying here the mystery over the death of a woman who may have consumed a mushroom-based drink at a wellness retreat near Ballarat has deepened after police released an autopsy update. The Victorian Police spokesman said, is it Moorabool Crime Investigation Unit detectives were continuing to investigate the death after an autopsy was unable to determine the cause of death. Rachel Dixon was at Soul Barn Creative Wellbeing Centre in Clunes, a town in Victoria near Ballarat, on Sunday when she became ill at about midnight. The 53-year-old woman died at the scene. An autopsy has since been conducted, and at this stage, the cause of death remains unknown. Investigations remain ongoing. Police continue to prepare a report for the coroner. 2 others were hospitalized after consuming the drink, but have since been discharged and made a full recovery. She's the only one that passed away from the drink, whatever this drink is. I'm just trying to see if there was any other update. I thought I saw they ruled it misadventure, but I may be wrong. 5 days ago. Okay. There was an update 5 days ago. Let's have a look. Let me load this 1 minute. All right, let me load this up. Apparently there is an update. Melbourne healer linked to Clunes health retreat where Rachel Dixon died. A self-proclaimed healer and mentor hosted an overnight retreat in Clunes where a Melbourne woman died after consuming a drink suspected to have contained magic mushrooms. A self-proclaimed healer and mentor, what's her name? Is this her here? Deanne Matthews is a self-proclaimed healer, mentor, and teacher. She was the one that was hosting the retreat at the time, apparently. They're saying here 3 months after the Ringwood North mum died at the Wellbeing Centre, her cause of death remains unknown, according to an autopsy report. The Herald Sun now understands Port Melbourne business owner Deanne Matthews hosted the private event that Miss Dixon attended on April 13th. It can be revealed that the pair had known each other for about 7 years, with Miss Dixon attending previous retreats by the self-proclaimed healer, mentor, and teacher. The April event, costing between $800 and $1,200 per person, was not listed on Miss Matthews' website, but rather advertised through word of mouth within the community. Here's a photo of Miss Matthews and Rachel in November 2018, detailing that they did know each other for a long period of time. It says here on her website, Miss Matthews says she helped people work through their pain and trauma. It's believed Miss Dixon had consumed the suspected magic mushroom drink at previous retreats without complication. The ingredients in the drink forced participants to fall into a state of hypnosis, allowing them to go back in time and mend the past. Usually, one individual present at the event would refrain from consuming the hallucinogens in order to ensure the safety of other participants. So they would have like a safe, like, you know, when you have like a non-drinker, like a driver, very similar, but for magic mushrooms. So it's usually one, yeah. But the Herald Sun understands everyone who was at the retreat ingested the magic mushroom drink the night Miss Dixon died. So there was no safe person that night. Everyone had it. No one else suffered injuries, but 2 people were taken to hospital for shock. Soul Barn owner Michelle Mullins previously said the venue was hired out to an external business and none of their regular therapists, staff, or facilitators were present. Miss Matthews said she has a passion for healing people. I have been on my own healing journey for many years, intimately understanding that when we heal, we have more love to give ourselves and to others. Okay. I also have many magic mushrooms to give to people too. No, sorry, it doesn't say that. I added that. That's not a real sentence. Um, yeah, so they still don't know why she died or what happened that night. This is her. This is the woman who died. Her name is Miss Dixon. I'm guessing maybe she just had a bad reaction, possibly. Hey, Robbie, we're back. Thanks for being here last night, though. I appreciate it. And thank you for your ko-fi last night. That was very sweet of you. Hey, Brenda, how are you? It's just a way of classifying a death where someone dies due to something they might have done or an activity they were doing with their consent. So you could be rock climbing and you would fall off a cliff. They would say, "Oh, you died via misadventure because you were doing the rock climbing with your personal consent. It was an activity you wanted to do, and then you died during it." This would be very similar. Rachel died at an event that she consented to, that she wanted to attend, and it was sort of like an activity she wanted to do, and she died during it. But I thought they had registered her death as misadventure, but I must be wrong because they don't have it in this article. And they're saying no determination has been made due to the inconclusive autopsy report a few months ago. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what they come up with for the coroner. But this article only came out a few days ago, so this is the latest article on her death. We'll see what happens. No, the healer didn't die. The healer was the one hosting the event. Her friend Rachel, she's the one who's wearing the pink on the screen now. The woman who is the healer, she's the one in the white top that you can see on your screen. Thank you, Laura, for asking people to thumbs up the video. We've been very low in thumbs up, actually. My analytics tell me we're like 25% down on people leaving comments and liking the live streams. Not sure why, it just seems to be that way. Okay. Marlene says misadventure equal Darwinism. Some of them would qualify for the yearly Darwin Awards. Yes, maybe not this one, but some other ones for sure. Okay, I'm gonna leave that one there. We're gonna get out of Melbourne. Hold on. Okay. I want to head to El Paso. El Paso police arrest 2 in vicious gang dispute, killing at East Side Apartments. Okay. Apparently, there was gunfire hits a house in northeast El Paso drive-by shooting. El Paso police seek persons involved in drive-by shooting that hit the El Paso home on March 17th. That's a while ago. They said a dispute over street gang affiliation sparked a vicious shooting that killed a young man in the parking lot of an apartment complex in far east El Paso. A complaint affidavit filed by a homicide detective described a merciless killing where the victim was shot multiple times, then beaten while on the ground motionless, before one of the shooters appeared to snap a cell phone photo of the dead man. The affidavit stated that the death of Omar Infante Jr., 24, was recorded on security camera and witness cell phone videos. El Paso police arrested Damien Alexander de la Rivera, or de la Riva, and Noah Daniel Lamelli, both 19, very young, on murder charges this week in connection with Infante's death early Saturday, July 20, at the Gonzalez Place Apartments in Rich Beam Boulevard near Montana Avenue. They said they're both being held on $1 million bail or bond each at the El Paso County Jail in downtown. They remain jailed as of Friday, July 26. Jail logs show no attorney is listed on court records for either man. You'd hope so for a $1 million bail that they get some attorneys. They said here gang-related dispute trouble began during a small get-together taking place about 3:50 a.m. in the morning Saturday in an apartment. Infante was in attendance where Lamelli, who had been invited over, arrived with De La Riva, according to the affidavit. An argument started between 2 of the men regarding their opposing gang affiliations, witnesses told investigators. The affidavit stated all 3 men were then kicked out of the apartment. It says the 2 men agreed to fight each other and walk down a stairwell to the parking lot. And then it says De La Riva remaining on the stairwell landing overlooking the parking lot, watching these 2 going to go fight, apparently. The affidavit alleges they both were fist fighting when De La Riva bolted down the stairs, pulled out a handgun, pointed it at Infante, and who released his hold on Lamelli and began backing away with his hands up in the air. Lamelli allegedly pulled out his own handgun, and both men held Infante at gunpoint before he was shot and fell to the ground. This is like a Mexican standoff. You got like 3 people with guns trying to, who are we going to shoot first? And then 2 of them decide, hey, if we gang up, we now have the power dynamic, so let's get him. And that's sort of what happened. The video depicts De La Riva and Lamelli beating Infante in the face as he lays on the ground motionless. He was beaten, stomped on, and pistol whipped numerous times. During the beating, one of the gunmen shot him again before the assailants appeared to grab something from his chest, possibly a necklace. According to the detective's description of the video, Lamelli allegedly appeared to take a photo with his cell phone of the victim on the ground. The pair then left in a red Nissan Altima. Infante, who was shot in the head and torso, died on the ground in the parking lot, police reported. An investigation by homicide detectives with the Crimes Against Persons Unit, with assistance from the Gang Unit, identified De La Riva and Lamelli through police databases, social media, and witnesses. Here is Mr. Damien Alexander De La Riva, who is accused of murder in the shooting death of Omar Infante, 24, in the parking lot of the Gonzalez Place apartment. So, young kids, man, 19, fighting over which color are you? I'm red and you're blue, and this is my street, and my gang does a different hand sign to your gang. So let's get really angry and let's kill people because that's what we do. That's what we like to do. We like to shoot people because we have differences of opinion of what type of friends we have. It's not a gang, it's just friends. They said here, July 22nd, De La Riva was arrested and booked into downtown jail. Lamelli was booked a day later. An investigation into the homicide continues. Anyone with information may call the police non-emergency line at 915-832-4400. Yeah, I want to call up and I want to dob on all the people in my gang. Yeah, that's what we do. So this is Omar Ifante. This is the guy who died. He was shot and killed in that car park. They also snatched a chain from him while they were beating him up and pistol whipping him while they were killing him. Yeah, let me see if we can get a video about it. No, it's not going to play it. Okay, I will find you one. Omar Ifante. You guys, I will find it for you. Here we go. Go to KTSM 9 News. Actually, let me go to a different. Oh, yeah, that one will do. No, that's. Got to share the page ping.
Well, we're learning new details into what happened before a man was found shot dead in the parking lot of a Far East El Paso apartment complex over the weekend. As we reported, it happened in the early morning hours of Saturday at the Gonzalez Place apartment on Rich Bean Boulevard. New court documents obtained by KTSM citing witness accounts and the complex's surveillance video show there was a small get-together at one of the apartments. The victim, Omar Infante Jr., and two other men got into an argument over their gang affiliation. The two agreed to go outside when that's when Infante and one of the men began to fight. The two men are said to have pulled out handguns and shoot Infante, with video showing the pair beating Infante until they allegedly shot him one final time. They then drove away from the scene, and the document does state witnesses identified the two men based on booking photos. Police are still looking for the second suspect. El Paso police have identified the two 19-year-old men charged with shooting and killing a 24-year-old man in Far East El Paso over the weekend. El Paso police say Noah Lomeli and Damian De La Riva are both charged with murder. Police say just before 4 a.m. on Saturday, they responded to multiple gunshots that were heard at the Gonzalez Place apartments. When officers arrived, they found the victim, identified as Omar Infante Jr., dead in the parking lot. According to court documents, an argument between Infante Jr. and Lomeli regarding their opposing gang affiliations was what led to the deadly shooting.
There you go. There's the update for that. Sounds pretty brutal. Sounds like they were at some sort of party, some sort of micro turf war broke out because, I don't know, you're in the East Side gang, you're in the West Side gang. Let's all rap battle downstairs and dance with each other. And they decided, hey, that wasn't good enough. Let's pull out weapons and shoot someone. And one guy died, and now two are arrested on $1 million bond. Have fun trying to get that money up. And if they go through court, I'll let you know. But pretty horrible. All right, we're going to go to a different story, an update. One I thought I brought you this like weeks ago, but now we got an update on the 24th of July. Very odd. And it comes from the Bibb County Sheriff's Office. Human remains found to believed to be that of Gabriella Dixon. It says the Sheriff's Office investigators, along with the assistance of Monroe County Sheriff's Office, make a discovery in connection with a missing person investigation. Earlier today, human remains were found in a wooded area by a construction crew in Monroe County. The remains are believed to be that of a missing person, Gabriella Dixon. The remains have been sent to the GBI to be positively identified today. A person of interest was arrested at a residence in Monroe County. The arrest occurred during the execution of a search warrant or an arrest warrant in connection with the investigation. Dixon was reported missing on October 31st, 2023. The person of interest was identified as 19-year-old Jatavius D'Angelo Price. Price was arrested November 17, 2023 and charged with making false statements and tampering with evidence. He made bond on those charges on November 18th. Today, Price was transported to the Bibb County Law Enforcement Center and charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Warrants for Reginald Harris were served today at the Bibb County Law Enforcement Center for the murder of Dixon. The investigation is still ongoing. Further details and actions in this case will be released as soon as they become available. I could have sworn I already did a story where I told you that her remains had been located. I must be tripping. All right, I'm going to show you an update video. Let me grab that for you. So it seems like at least 2 of them now have been arrested over her murder. I don't know why I thought I brought you this already like a month ago, but I do remember covering her case at the time, and I remember when uh the guys were arrested the first time, and we thought, oh, it'd only be a couple of weeks until they find the body. Well, no, it took almost a year, more like 10 months or 9 months to find out what they had done with her. And it was only because of a construction crew that found the remains, not because of police work or they didn't tell anyone. It just was a random occurrence that the workers stumbled upon it, which is very sad. But at least her family can give her a proper burial and goodbye now. I'm going to play the last 40 seconds here for you.
Back in November, Sheriff's Office says this is still under investigation and more details will be released when they're available. Reporting live in Macon outside of the Bibb County Law Enforcement Center, I'm Gloria Ruth Finney for WGXA News.
There we go. The update for you. So I know they're still trying to positively identify those remains, but her family believe it is her due to certain factors, clothing, location, a couple of other things too. I'm just going to see if there's any other. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. I don't know why this came up. I searched her name just to see if there was another update. And then this came up. Monroe County, same county. And it says here, Sheriff's Office seeks suspect involved in identity theft investigation. And here's the very blurry photo of the woman they are looking for. And it says, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office is working to identify a suspect connected to an active identity theft investigation. According to the MCSO, the case involves a stolen check that was altered and then deposited at the Wings Financial Credit Union, located at 1897 Sullivan Road in College Park, Georgia, on May 20. MCSO provided security camera images of the suspect appearing to be a woman. And it says anyone who knows the suspect in the images or has any information regarding the case is asked to contact the MCSO at 478-994-7010. There you go. If you know who this person is and why she would be taking a check from someone and depositing that check when it was altered, you let them know. Hey Shad, how are you? Good to see you. Laura says I'm glad they found her. Yeah. I'm glad they found Gabriella as well. Oh, that other one they found didn't end up being her. Is that what happened? Because I was like, I swear I read this like over a month ago that they found her remains. And I was like, when I saw it pop back up in the news that they found her remains, I was like, hold on, what's going on? Like, didn't I already read this story? But that would make sense that the other person they found actually did not end up being her. That is very hard for the family. Laura says, "I hope this time it is Gabriella." Yeah, because I remember telling you all. I was like, they found her. You know, they were told her family, and I was like, "Oh, great! It's been like 8 months or whatever." Yeah, I definitely remember doing that. Yeah, so that we can see my surprise when it popped back up in the news. I was sort of like, "Is this just an old story that they're bringing up again?" But no, it happened only a couple of days ago. Um, yeah, that is very sad. Her family must be so over it. So over it. I'm going to take you back to a story we did yesterday, and it's from Giselle Salazar-Tapia. Do you know her? She's the lady who was hung on the dock. We're going to talk more about it because a little bit more information has come out overnight, and it says I've got a booking photo for the boyfriend. I thought you'd all want to see it. He also needs a brush. I've noticed a lot of these people who are arrested seem to can't afford a brush or a comb. Seems to be a running theme. So here's his booking photo, booked into jail. It says here, police recently arrested a 51-year-old man in connection with the death of his 30-year-old girlfriend, who was found hanged at a marina dock nearly 2 months ago. On May 31st, the League City Police Department received reports of a woman's lifeless body hanging by a rope from a dock. Officers responded to the scene where they found the female victim deceased. Investigators suspected foul play in the death of the victim, identified as Giselle Salazar-Tapia. According to the news source, police observed one of Salazar-Tapia's arms extended above her head, suggesting she died at another location and the body was staged as a self-inflicted type of thing. Police said a man they believed to be Salazar's boyfriend became very distraught and would not come out of his boat. Officers negotiated with the man and were able to talk the man safely out of the vessel. In an update, police said they had arrested James Hart on July 25th in connection with her death. Hart remains held at the Galveston County Jail on a charge of tampering/fabricating physical evidence with intent to impair a human corpse. Although police did not disclose his relationship with the victim, the local news reports he was her boyfriend. Salazar-Tapia reportedly leaves behind 4 children, and according to the local media, she and Hart lived together on the boat docked at the marina where she was found. Yep, we already heard that, but I wanted to show you his booking photo. Where is he? Okay. So they have their own website called leaguecitytexas.gov, and they did a little update here. And they said the following is an update to LCPD case 24-2855. League City police detectives have arrested a 51-year-old suspect, James Hart. Hart was arrested and charged with tampering/fabricating physical evidence with intent to impair a human corpse. He copped an $80,000 bond for those charges alone. After a diligent and thorough investigation, detectives completed an arrest warrant for Hart with the charges above, with a recommended bond of $80,000. Once the warrant was signed on July 25th at approximately 4:36 p.m., League City police detectives placed James Hart in custody without incident from the marina in the 700 block of Davis Road. Is that the same one where she was found dead? Let's have a look. It is. He was still at the site where she was found dead, so it's sort of like they just knew where to find him. Let me bring you an update from Fox 26 here.
A League City man is behind bars tonight, accused of tampering with a dead body.
51-year-old James Hart, now charged with tampering with evidence with intent to impair a human corpse. This is all into connection to the mysterious death of the 30-year-old Giselle Salazar. Fox 26's Jade Fleury reports.
No way I would ever do that to her. This man, the boyfriend of Giselle Salazar, now sits in jail charged with tampering with his girlfriend's dead body. Back in May, Salazar's body was found hanging from a dock with one of her arms above her head. League City police say based on the way her body was positioned, they believe Salazar did not die at the location where her body was found, but was most likely moved to that location after her death. I loved her more than anyone ever. During a June interview with Fox 26, her boyfriend, 51-year-old James Hart, maintained his innocence. All I do is stay in the smoke, cry, talk to police, try to come up with different camera angles of people that I think could help in every single way. He was confronted by Salazar's family the same day.
Okay, so
The easy thing to do is kill. Now Hart is charged, and police say they found inconsistencies with his story, deleted text messages, and they believe he intentionally moved Salazar's body, knowing a death investigation would occur. According to court documents, Hart texted his mother about Salazar's death 3 hours before the body was found. I've called at least himself. I've had the cops out here at least 17 times in less than 6 weeks, 5 weeks. We did speak to Salazar's sister, who is not available for an interview today, but she does tell us that she wants justice for her sister. A judge did issue an $80,000 bond for James Hart. Reporting from League City, Jade Fleury, Fox 26 News.
You see him in that video, and it's almost
All
like
right, Summerween, it's a trend, and Coco Dominguez is here to tell us
what?
why it's so popular. It's the middle of the summer. What are we talking about?
Okay, first of all, you're
No, we're not doing any Summerween. No, Halloween is for the fall. That's it. You see him in that video, and he's always highly emotional, but like not highly emotional in a good way. Like highly emotional, like he protests too much. Like he's just spewing rubbish for no reason. He's like, I've had the cops out here like 9,052 times in a 5-6 week period, and that's easy for you to say. And he's fighting with the family of the woman. And bro, it would have been so much easier if you just told the truth. If you just told the truth about what happened to her, sure, there might have been a death investigation. As long as you didn't actually kill her, then they would have been able to figure out what happened to her pretty quickly. I mean, if she died of a drug overdose, then she died of a drug overdose. I mean, it's very sad, but it's a risk you take when you are a person who habitually takes them. You know, what you did was way more dumb in your scattered out mind. You know what I'm going to do? Oh my God, she OD'd and died. If that's how she died, we don't know. But no murder charges as of yet. I'm going to turn all the cameras around. I'm then going to take her body out. I'm going to wrap her to the dock. And then I'm just going to go back to bed and wait for someone in the morning to find her. Like, have you not ever watched an episode of like Forensic Files? Have you never done that? Because they can tell from the levity on the body, like if she was placed on her back, if she was here, they can tell for the rigor mortis, if that is a natural position for her to be in after her death. Like, there's so many indicators that can tell them if that is a legitimate location for her to be in after she died. And obviously, the hand above the head does not bode well for him at all, and that's why he was charged with tampering with a body. We'll see if he gets charged over her actual death. Right now, no charges for that part of it. I think they're probably waiting on toxicology because it's only been a month or so. I would be hesitant to say that they'd already have that back. Officials say that Salazar appeared to have died in a seated position But based on the way her body was found, officials said it appeared Salazar did not die at the location she was found, but likely moved to that location after her death. Yeah, that's very interesting. She died in a seated position. Hmm. That and the security cameras either not working or being turned around in a different direction. This was pretty easy to figure out. I know, he texted his mama. I know, weirdo. Let's see. Yeah, I wonder if that's what happened, that she did die of a drug overdose and he moved her afterwards because he didn't want her in his home due to him already having drug paraphernalia and probably more drugs. And he didn't want the cops sniffing around his boat. So he moved her out of the boat to try and throw suspicion away from him. That's what I'm guessing. But hey, he could have killed her. Maybe he strangled her. We don't know. Maybe he gave her a large dose of opiates and OD'd her. That's murder too. We just don't know. Let me check one thing. I just want to see if they've given an update on her actual death. They say charges filed against boyfriend after mother of 4 found hanging at the dock. Yeah.
It's been nearly 2 months since a disturbing discovery in the Wharf Marina. A woman's body found dangling from a dock the morning after her boyfriend claimed she'd left their boat.
This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. It feels like a nightmare you can't wake up from.
51-year-old James Hart told us in an interview that 30-year-old Giselle Salazar-Tapia was the love of his life, and that the mother of 4 went to the bathroom in the middle of the night but never came back.
I want justice for Giselle.
Yesterday, Hart was arrested at the marina in connection to his girlfriend's death.
Mr. Hart, James Hart.
This is video from his Galveston County Magistrate Court appearance. He's charged with tampering/fabricating physical evidence with intent to impair a human corpse.
You acknowledge you understand the charge that is before you?
Not really, but I understand what she just read to me.
From the beginning, League City Police suspected foul play in the case, and that Hart is the only suspect. In a statement today, a spokesperson told me, quote, LCPD detectives are hoping to have the Galveston County Medical Examiner's Office's full report to include Salazar-Tapia's toxicology report sometime next week. So at the moment, this is still an ongoing investigation.
What I do know is I didn't have anything to do with it, and I never would have. I love Giselle.
An investigation centered around this once seemingly concerned boyfriend.
Well, he may have been concerned, but he definitely was involved. Like they say in that interview, they are expecting her toxicology and other forensic tests back this week. So we should actually see whether he is charged with more crimes or they'll rule her death something else. We'll find out. But he will definitely be going through the system for at least those 2 charges related to moving her body and tying her up at the dock. Right. I loved her so much. I loved her so much that I had to remove her body from my house, tie her up, and throw her off the dock to make it look like I had nothing to do with her death. That's not love. That is convenience and selfishness. So another person with fake tears. Yeah, they all put on this cry voice. Erin Patterson did it. This guy does it. They all put on this like fake upset voice, and they're all like they love to wipe away fake tears and wait. I gotta wipe my nose and wipe away fake snot. Hold on, let me do that. So they don't think I'm faking my crying. Let me change positions. True. I know. I find it interesting that Erin did the same thing. Okay. Oh, actually, this is a pretty good update. Apparently, the man who was shot at the Trump rally has been released from hospital. That is good news. His name is James Copenhaver, 74, of Moon Township, has finally been released from hospital. He was discharged on Friday. He's no longer in a critical condition. He's able to go home. That is really good news. There's another man called David Dutch. He was released on Wednesday last week. So that is besides the one person who copped the bullet head on and died at the scene, these two other people were also injured, but they have survived. That is really good news. Yeah, I think her mum and her brother are looking after her children. Some of her children are older, I think. A couple of them are a bit younger, but I'm not sure the relationship because they didn't live with mum. Because mum lived on that boat and the children didn't live with them. So I don't know if all the children live with her mother or some of them live with the father. I don't know. But I know that they were interviewed a couple of times after she was found deceased. So that's all I know. Okay, let's see what else do I have. Let's go back to our favorite place in the world, Florida.
13-year-old is critically hurt after Port Orange police say that he was accidentally shot. And this happened on Creekwater Boulevard near State Road 44. That's where West 2 tonight. Gabriella Dixon spoke with the boy's family, who says that he was staying with a friend when this happened.
It's just not fair.
Daniel and Elizabeth Green are overwhelmed with emotions. It hurts them to see their 13-year-old grandson in the hospital.
They said he's paralyzed from the neck down, and chances
are he might be able to move one or two of his arms, but not his legs.
They tell us his name is Nathaniel Green. According to Port Orange police, the boy was shot just before 2 Saturday morning, and they believe it was an accident. It happened on Creekwater Boulevard near State Road 44. The family is in Orlando right now because they tell us Nathaniel was airlifted to Orlando Health, where he is in critical condition.
We allowed him to go over and stay over a friend's house, and turns out they were playing with guns while they were over there.
Is his friend 13 years old? 15. So does he go to his house often?
yeah, they've been back and forth to our house and to his house. And I know his stepdad has guns, and we have talked to the stepdad and said we don't want our grandson anywhere around any guns ever.
Do you know who accidentally fired the gun?
They're trying to say it was our grandson cleaning the gun, but he's smart enough to know not to point a gun at himself.
At this point, we really don't know the whole story. I mean, the kid's 13, now he's paralyzed.
When we spoke with the grandparents on Saturday afternoon, they told us the doctors successfully removed the bullet from Nathaniel's body after it hit his throat and spinal cord. The 13-year-old was looking forward to playing his first football game on Sunday.
He loves everybody. He's outgoing. He's just all around good kid, and he's going to be devastated when he wakes up from this. He's in an induced coma right now, so they can do surgery.
In Orange County, Sanai Gabriella, West 2 News.
Wow, very sad story of just a young kid paralyzed now after playing with a weapon. They said a 13-year-old is critically hurt after the Port Orange Police Department says he was shot in what appears to be an accidental shooting. It happened just before 2 a.m. Saturday on Creekwater Boulevard near State Road 44. The doctors are saying that he's paralyzed from the neck down, and chances are that he might barely move like one or two of his arms, but not his legs. The grandparents told the news station their grandson's name is Nathaniel Green. They are standing by his side in Orlando because they said Nathaniel was airlifted to Orlando Health to get more, help that's more for his needs. They said, we allowed him to go over and stay over a friend's home, and turns out they were playing with guns while they were over there. I know the friend's stepdad has guns, and we have talked to the stepdad and said we don't want our grandson anywhere around guns ever. The Greens said they are still working to figure out what happened, but they don't believe Nathaniel is the one who fired the weapon. Ay, ay, ay. Poor kid. Let me see if I can find anything else about this grandson's name. Trying to see if there's a article out of Orlando. No, that seems to be the only paper covering it, WESH, unfortunately, that I can find. How very, very awful. Sounds like he's got life-changing injuries that are probably not going to get better at all. I don't know. Maybe that's why they transported him to Orlando for better machines or better help. It might be a long journey for him, unfortunately, though. Very long journey. Yeah. What can I say? Be careful with weapons. Doesn't matter if you're 13 or 83. You still got to practice good gun ownership or good gun handling. You know, they can change your life in a second. All right, let me see what else I have here. Oh, a fugitive has been captured. Oh, we like those. It says here, a man was taken into custody Saturday after escaping a hospital in the Palm Coast after receiving medical clearance, according to the Flagler County Sheriff's Office. Deputies said the man, 29-year-old Anthony Romaine, was at Advent Health for medical clearance after being originally arrested for a felony petite theft warrant. Law enforcement began searching for Ronnie and even used a Fireflight helicopter. Deputies later said they were able to successfully end the manhunt, ensuring that the suspect was taken into custody. This is what he looks like. They said the Flagler County Sheriff's Office is looking for a suspect after an escape from Advent Health South on SR 100 in Palm Coast on Saturday morning. The community is asked to be on the lookout for Anthony John Romaine, 29. He is a white male, 5'9", 160 pounds, with blue eyes and neck tattoos. There you go. They're saying he's been located and is now in custody. Well, thank the Lord. We don't need him running around. Let me play you the update.
Also tonight in Flagler County, a man is facing charges after deputies say he escaped custody at Advent Health South in Palm Coast. They say that Anthony Roman was originally arrested for theft and is now facing felony charges of escape. The sheriff's office deployed a helicopter to help track him down. He was found at around 2 o'clock this afternoon in the woods near a gas station by I-91 and State Road 100 in Palm Coast. Investigators say that he was found hiding under leaves and underbrush.
Oh yeah, that was a great disguise. Hide under some leaves and brush and branches. Good work, dude. That's definitely going to hide you from the helicopter with, like, it has a FLIR camera, can see body heat. You've been running around trying to stay in front of the police. Very clever. Very clever. What is Australian Customs Authority sent me a letter. They seized my eBay pop gun last week. We have it tough. Yeah, anything that looks like a weapon is going to get seized by customs. Yep. Yeah, can't run from a chopper. Not one that has a FLIR camera. They're just going to find you. You're going to glow bright orange, and they're going to be like, "Hey, he's right there. He's under the leaves and branches. Just get him." Yeah, glad he's been arrested. We don't need more of him around. Let's see. Did you guys all watch the catch up on the Olympics when you woke up? Who won last night? The Matildas for soccer in Australia. The women still coach very poorly. Our coach is crap and needs to be replaced. They had to score something like what was it, like 6 goals to win against the other team. And then we had Simone Biles in the gymnastics, had a great night. She did a great gymnastics routine. Was very interesting seeing her. Although her teammate Jade Carey had a very bad night in the gymnastics. She was doing a floor routine and she fell, and she ended up scoring quite low. I don't know if she'll go through to the finals or not. I don't think so, unfortunately. But everyone else on Team USA did quite well, including Sunisa. She did a great routine, scored very highly. It was a good night, actually. If I'm missing this week, I'm watching the Olympics. All right, Nanalana. No worries. It'll be interesting to see the finals for that, the finals for swimming. And like I said to you yesterday, the Australians are already out of number 1 in the medal tally. Let me just see what we're at to now. We're now second behind Japan. United States is number 3. They have 3 gold, 6 silver, and 3 bronze. Australia just has 4 gold and 2 silver, no bronze right now. So Japan has 4 gold, 2 silver, and 1 bronze. So if we can just get a bronze medal, we'll be tied for first. But we'll get leapfrogged very quickly in the next week or so. Politically to mock Christians has turned me off. What? A wildfire was less than a mile from your home? I'm glad they were able to get it under control. It's turned into Eurovision? Oh, you mean the opening ceremony thing? Sure, I understand. That was pretty... I don't understand. Like, couldn't you have just done something else? Like, I'm not Christian, but I understand what the Last Supper represents, and seems like a pretty easy way to piss off a lot of people for no reason. Could have picked any other thing. Could have picked any other sort of representation of something. Let's see. All right, let's go to Georgia. If I can find it. Patrick Emerson Thomas. So this guy apparently rode into into a landscape worker and killed him in 2020, and he was sentenced today. I'm just trying to find a good link for you. Okay, we'll have to use this one. Here's he's from Woodstock. He was sentenced for 2020 crash that killed a landscaper. Here's a photo of him. Patrick Emerson Thomas. It says a Woodstock man has been sentenced to 6 years in prison after being found guilty of striking and killing a landscape worker in the town lake area of Woodstock, November 2020. Patrick Emerson Thomas, 69, was convicted on June 20 of 2 counts of homicide by vehicle in the first degree, reckless driving, and driving under the influence after a 4-day trial. He was sentenced on July 24th to 15 years in prison, with 6 to serve behind bars and 9 of those on probation. The jury found Thomas was speeding when he drove his 2018 Ford Mustang through the Eagle Watch subdivision on the afternoon of November 17, 2020. He struck and instantly killed 59-year-old Justiano Piri Piri of Ackworth, who was part of a landscaping crew at a home along Eagle Watch Drive. The investigation revealed that Justiano was behind a large Isuzu landscape truck parked on the side of the road with its hazard lights flashing when the Mustang crashed into it, pushing into him. An autopsy revealed he died of massive blunt force trauma. Thomas told investigators with the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office that he could not see the truck because the sun was glaring in his eyes. Investigators found the sun was not a factor in the crash, and Thomas was driving at least 13 miles per hour faster than the posted speed limit. Thomas was not injured, but his airbag was deployed. He showed signs of impairment and later admitted to taking prescription medication, which is known to cause sleepiness and blurred vision. A blood test and field sobriety test were conducted, which confirmed the presence of medication in his system. 10 witnesses, including law enforcement officers and drug recognition and forensic experts, and eyewitnesses, took the stand during the trial, and more than 100 pieces of evidence were introduced, including scene photos and home surveillance footage showing the crash. During his sentencing hearing, 2 members of the victim's family read impact statements about their loss, especially the financial support he provided for his wife, children, and grandchildren. Prosecutors argued that Thomas should receive a stiff penalty due to how aggressively he was driving prior to the crash. One witness testified Thomas had been tailgating him to the point where he needed to change directions to get away. Throughout the investigation and prosecution of this case, the defendant claimed it was just an accident and showed no remorse for his actions. This was no accident, according to the DA. The victim was crushed by the defendant's car, killed by an aggressive driver who endangered multiple lives as he sped through the neighborhood that day. Prosecutors also pointed out that within minutes of the crash, a school bus carrying children came upon the gruesome scene. So a bunch of school kids had to see a dead man lying under a car. How awful. Well, this guy is probably gonna, good chance he probably passes away in jail. 15 years. He has to serve at least, what is it, like a third, just over a third of that sentence, and the rest on probation. I have no idea. Someone did a campfire. That happened to me about 5 years ago. Someone did a campfire down the road, and it sparked a massive bushfire here. And we had helicopters and uh, those planes that dropped the red fire retardant, trying to take the fire out down here. It was pretty bad. Yeah, it sounds like he had taken some sort of prescription medication that impaired his vision and made him sleepy too. All right. The planes were a welcome sound of relief. Okay, let's see what else I have on my thing before we close up for the night. Let's go to Baltimore or Maryland. Oh, come on. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Bloody delivery guys. Hey Maria, how are you? Yeah, one more and then we're out of here. One more. I'm just going to get this loaded up. We're halfway through it before I had to run. Okay, here we go. This is a shooting in a mall in Colombia leaves a teenager dead, unfortunately. People can't even go to the mall anymore without getting shot, apparently. So play the video.
I like freaked out. I was crying. Me and my friends, we were like hugging each other, like scared. I texted my mom. I told her I loved her.
A Saturday evening at Columbia Mall turns scary and deadly after a gunshot sends shoppers running for cover.
I was outside American Eagle and I heard a shot. I thought it was above me, but I realized later on it was actually right next to me. And then I saw people running, and that's when I just started running with the crowd, I guess. Yeah.
While other shoppers like Grace Gross sheltered in place inside a store for hours.
And the workers were saying, get in the back, get in the back. So we all like were ushered back there. And everyone was saying there was a shooter, and we had to wait, and they told us what happened, and we were in there for like 2 hours.
Howard County Police say it all unfolded just after 6 Saturday evening. Investigators believe a fight inside the food court led to the shooting, killing a man.
So we want to reassure people that as tragic as that is, that we do believe that it was a victim who was targeted.
It's heartbreaking. Like, people are crazy.
As police work to find whoever pulled the trigger, people are trying to wrap their mind around how a day of shopping ended with a deadly shooting here.
Our first thought was like, no way it happens in Columbia. This isn't the type of area where there'd be like gunshots or something like that. It just goes to show, and it can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't matter the area.
Howard County Police say there is no ongoing threat here at the mall at this point. They're also praising business owners and employees here at the mall. They say a lot of folks already knew what to do because of an active shooter situation that happened here in the mall back in 2014. Now, of course, police are still investigating this situation, and we promise to bring you updates on this as we learn more. Reporting live here at Columbia Mall, I'm Brianna Ross, WBAL TV 11 News.
I don't think it makes it any better that they say it was targeted. I don't think that, allays any fears in the community. I just don't think so. So the person who was shot and killed is Angelo Little, 17, of Columbia, died at the scene. No other injuries were reported. I'm just trying to see if there's an update. 3 hours ago from ABC. They're saying one person was killed in a shooting. One person was killed in a shooting inside a shopping mall in a suburb of Baltimore and Washington on Saturday, according to police. Authorities received a call after gunfire in the food court area of the mall in Columbia, Maryland, about 6:10 p.m. Officers found Angelo Little, 17, of Columbia, dead from a gunshot wound. Police determined that the suspect had already left the mall following the shooting, and detectives believe the victim was targeted. Authorities say the investigation is now ongoing. Officers worked to evacuate people in an orderly fashion, and the mall was finally cleared about 9 p.m. that night. The mall was also the scene of a shooting in January 2014 when three people died after a man with a shotgun killed 2 people, then himself, on that night. That's brutal. 17, that guy's not even legally able to sign up for the military, and the guy was shot and killed in a mall. Let me see, WJLA. Just trying to see if there's an update out of that county. Yeah.
News 11 starts with breaking news in Maryland. Just a couple of hours ago, police say a person was shot and killed inside Columbia Mall in Howard County. Tonight, police say they are still searching for that gunman. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Matthew Torres. This is what we know so far. The gunman fired at least one gunshot in the food court around 6 o'clock this evening. Officers arrived to find one male dead, although they are still working to confirm his name and age. Investigators say there was an altercation between 2 people before that shooting. Now, while they're still searching for a suspect, police stress there is no threat to the public tonight.
This was not something that our investigators believe was a random incident or an accident. This is something that they believe was intentional. And so we want to reassure people that as tragic as that is, that we do believe that it was a victim who was targeted.
Continuing our coverage tonight is Alexis Wainwright, who rushed to the scene. She spoke to several witnesses who had to scramble to safety.
Tonight, people are still trying to wrap their minds around what exactly happened here. We spoke with several people who were here inside the food court where this man was shot and killed.
At first, I thought it was just something that had fell.
Kirby, who didn't want to share his last name, says he was inside the mall to pick up a DoorDash order when,
As I left the bathroom, I was like, no, that's a gunshot. Turned to my right. I saw the body on the floor, bleeding at the head.
Meanwhile, others ran for their life after hearing gunshots in the food court.
I walked and picked it up, and then I heard a sound, boom. First one, and then there were two more shots that I heard.
Many people started hiding in stores until police responded just after 6 p.m. Investigators say the person who was shot was targeted.
I started running too, and it was chaotic, and so I fell down, and then I crawled into a store, AT&T.
And as police try to piece together what exactly happened, witnesses are reflecting on something they'll never forget.
It's the first time.
All right, no new information in that one. I'm going to leave that. But hope they can find the suspect. It says, on the scene, police located a male subject deceased and started the investigation. Howard County Police emphasized that they believe the victim was targeted. Preliminary results stipulate that the suspect fled the mall after the shooting, so they're still trying to track down who that might be. It says, as the investigation unfolds, Howard County Police are receiving information and tips and are offering a reward to anyone with information of up to $5,000. You can contact the police on 410-313-STOP or send an email to hcpdcrimetips@howardcountymd.gov. And all tips are remaining anonymous, apparently.
However, based on the preliminary
There is actually a press conference here. Let's listen to it.
information and evidence that the officers and detectives have located, we do believe that this victim was targeted. Again, at this time, we believe that there's no one still on site on the mall property that is a remaining threat, and everyone who's inside the mall or on the mall grounds is deemed to be safe. We're just talking with people who might be witnesses, and we're asking anyone with any information to provide the police department with those details. And at this time, I can open for questions from the media.
The initial tweet that you all said indicated there was some sort of altercation. Can you just walk through what exactly might have happened that led up to it? And also, can you expound on the point that you made that you believe that this was targeted?
This was a situation where we believe that this was an altercation that occurred between two people. This was not something that our investigators believe was a random incident or an accident. This is something that they believe was intentional. And so we want to reassure people that as tragic as that is, that we do believe that it was a victim who was targeted.
Do we know the age of the victim, or could you at least say?
There is no information at this time about the victim except that he is male.
Is there any indication that the victim
Nope.
knew the suspect?
All right, I'm going to leave it there. I don't think it really does much except for rehash old information because we already know the age and the name of the victim now, 17, and his name is Angelo Little. He's the victim in that shooting. They're still searching for the suspect. I don't have an update at all about if they've found him, if they know where he went. Nothing. 8 minutes ago from the Washington Post. Yeah, just same thing, that it's the same guy. They don't know anything. I'm guessing police are still investigating who the shooter might be. 1 hour ago on Newsday. Yeah, just that the shooting is on, the investigation is ongoing at this time. I know, I can't even go to a food court and get food. It's ridiculous. All right. Hey, I'm going to wrap up for the night. I'm going to be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a normal start to the week, a 9 p.m. show and a late show at midnight. So I hope you'll stick around. Thank you to all the new subscribers. We ended up with like 1,020, 1,021, 1,022 or something. Thank you to all those new subscribers that are helping the channel. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll hit some more milestones as we go along. But if you're part of that new group of people, leave a comment and introduce yourself. We'd like to know who you are. And yeah, we'd like to just know who you are and come be part of our chat family or our replay crew or whatever works for you. Leave a comment. We'd like to know you. So I'll be back tomorrow 9 p.m. for another week of Nights with Ping, doing latest updates at 9 p.m. and then a late show at midnight. So it'll be another long week. Another long week. Yeah, it was good. I want to say thanks, Sean, for your donation tonight. I really appreciate it. I saw it come through just before. Thank you. Sometimes he beats me. Sometimes before I get off the show, I click the end button and then he sends it, and then I have to wait till tomorrow. But today, I got the best of him and I was able to get it and put it in before the end of the show. So, haha, you didn't get me today, Sean. But thank you. I do appreciate it. Rachel said, thanks for all your updates and stories, Ping. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Hey, watch the Olympics tonight. There'll be some good ones. Mushrooms should give a boost soon. I think so too. Once we get to trial, it'll be a big thing, I think. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. All right. Good night, everyone. Peace out. Have a great night. Take care of yourselves out there, okay? Bye. Bye.